Okay, we will call to order the regular meeting of the Batavia City Council for Tuesday, January 17th, 2023. I would ask that you rise for a brief invocation to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, as the City Council meets, we want to offer a very special prayer to Alderman Alan Wolf, who is our Mayor Pro Tem, runs our committee meetings, and unfortunately we have learned that today he was taken to the hospital for some treatment, and hopefully he is doing okay and will be back with us very soon. But we just want to share a special blessing and prayer for him and his family as he recovers from his current issues. Tonight, as always, we want to remember all those from our community who are serving on foreign soil in defense of the liberties of the United States of America. And we just ask that a special blessing be showered upon each one of these men and women from not only Batavia, but from throughout our country who are serving the vital missions around the world. Tonight, we ask on behalf of the City Council for blessings and understanding and vision as we act upon the items of business before us, knowing that in the hearts and minds of each one of these folks, they are here to do what is in the very best interest of Batavia. Tonight, we also just ask for a special blessing upon our community as we, along with every other nation or country, every other community in our country is battling the COVID issues and other medical issues, and so that we just ask that a special blessing be showered upon our whole nation as we continue to fight and try to overcome these various issues. We ask for all these blessings. Amen. And tonight we are very honored to have Scout Troop 103 is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, which is right here. And I just asked that the boys, if they could come up here and stand in front of the podium and do it, because that way we can get them on the camera that's right here. No, it'd be better if you stand in front of the podium.
On this side.
There you go. I'll turn it over to you for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Scouts. Appreciate it very much that you came down. And all right, the next item is item 3, which is roll call.
Miller,
Here.
Rosado,
Here.
Beck,
Here.
Connolly,
Here.
Janzit,
Here.
Wolf, Solfa,
Here.
Barron,
Here.
Lehman,
Here.
Ayazi,
Here.
Malay,
Here.
Ewer,
Here.
Saron,
Here.
Vogelsinger.
Here.
13 present, 1 absent.
Okay, we have the necessary quorum to conduct business. And item 4 is a reminder from myself to ask anybody who's going to address the City Council to please come forward and use the podium with the mic, because this is being recorded and will be rebroadcast on BATV in the days ahead. Moving then to item number 5, which are items to be removed, added, or changed on the agenda. Do we have anything tonight from anybody? Okay. Moving then to item number 6, which is presentation of tonight's consent agenda. Alderman Jansen, would you present this as Chairman of Governmental Services Committee?
Indeed, Your Honor, the consent agenda reads as follows. To accept and place on file the Committee of the Whole minutes for November 15th, 2022, Plan Commission minutes for December 7th, 2022, Historic Preservation minutes for November 14th, November 28th, 2022, and approvals, January 6th, 2023 payroll in the amount of $1,060,234.96. The accounts payable check register in the amount of $3,554,791.84. City Council minutes for January 3rd, 2023. Resolution 23-H-R, authorizing execution of an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Batavia and the County of Kane for access and improvements to Kirk Road at Fabian Parkway. Resolution 23-11-R, authorizing purchase of 2 fire department administration vehicles. Resolution 23-3-R, awarding a contract to Integral Construction, Inc. for Randall Road lift station improvements for an amount not to exceed $593,200.04. Resolution 23-4-R, renewing a contract for the Association for Individual Development, AID, Victim Services for a full-time in-house social worker. Your Honor, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Moved by Alderman Chanzat, second by Alderman Sofa for the approval of the consent agenda as read. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Janset,
Aye.
Solfa,
Aye.
Barron,
Aye.
Lehman,
Aye.
Ayazi,
Aye.
Malay,
Aye.
Ewer,
Aye.
Saron,
Aye.
Vogelsinger,
Aye.
Miller,
Aye.
Rosado,
Aye.
Beck,
Aye.
Connolly.
Aye.
13 yes, no, one absent.
Motion for approval of the consent agenda is approved. 13 yes, no no's, 1 absent. Okay, moving to item 7, which are matters from the public for items not on the agenda. Do we have anybody tonight?
Hi there. My name is Sylvia Keppel. I live at 1420 Becker Avenue. And first, I want to apologize for not commenting sooner. I know you've hired someone already and are working in preparation for the plastic bag tax to take effect in July. I've been meaning to say something for some time, but time got away from me. And frankly, I never thought Batavia would become like Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. My 85-year-old aunt and my 86-year-old dad still live in Chicago, in a 2-flat on the southwest side. Because of Chicago's bag tax, I supply them with plastic grocery bags from Batavia. My aunt uses them for her garbage. She's rather frail, so they're the perfect size for her to handle. She puts these garbage bags into a big metal garbage can that I got for her on her porch, which I can then empty into the alley garbage can for pickup when I visit them every week or so. When Chicago started charging for bags, I started providing the bags to my aunt and my dad. So the Chicago bag tax has caused inconvenience. But did Chicago's bag tax clean up the streets? No, it's worse than ever. I clean up the yard for my dad and my aunt. In the winter, when the greenery dies back, I find fast food cups, water bottles, beer cans, candy wrappers, paper scraps, and cigarette butts. It was never like that years ago, and there is more garbage now than before their bag tax. So the problem in Chicago is obviously not the plastic grocery bags. In Batavia, what % of the garbage is plastic grocery bags? Of the garbage that blows in my yard, rarely do I find plastic grocery bags. I find paper and food packaging mostly, blown from recycling containers on windy garbage days. Recently, there was a post on Nextdoor asking people to contact Batavia and Geneva officials to clean up along Randall Road. I didn't see plastic bags in the photo she posted. I watched the discussions you had on this tax. You want to do something, anything, so you can feel like you're doing your part to help the environment. Great, but to what effect and at what cost? I would suggest the problem is twofold. 1, people litter. 2, garbage and recycling is not properly secured. Rather than tax bags, you could use the money you're spending on consultants for an education campaign for the schools. Teach kids not to litter. Show them what the trash looks like, the effect it has on wildlife. I volunteered in college at the wildlife ward at the University of Illinois College of Veterinary Medicine, and I've seen firsthand the effects of carelessly thrown trash on animals. I won't forget it. You can find pictures online that will show kids the poor injured animals and the very real harms of litter. One of the aldermen mentioned his daughter's efforts to get him to use reusable bags. How about the kids learning and teaching parents too to hang on to that garbage till you can throw it into a garbage can? Or not to leave discarded fishing line where birds can become entangled? Then how about looking into the problem with unsecured garbage and recycling? Are the garbage trucks losing garbage as they drive? Are the recyclables blowing out as the bins are tipped? Are the garbage men dropping garbage as they dump and not picking it up, leaving it to blow into other people's yards? Have you followed garbage trucks on their routes to look if the trash hauling company bears some responsibility so they can be held responsible if need be? Do businesses overload their dumpsters? Is there an ordinance against unsecured trash from businesses? If not, there should be. Or is the problem that people throw loose trash into the garbage instead of bagging it, and the wind picks it up? If that's the case, I see more opportunity for education in schools. Please do not pat yourselves on the back and think this bag tax will solve the problem of litter. It won't. It will just be a hassle for everyone, especially businesses. Have you ever shopped at Walmart and gone through the self-checkout? How will Walmart enforce the bag tax on the self-checkout lanes? Those are just some of my practical thoughts. I hate litter. I really do. But this tax won't solve anything. I hope you will reconsider the bag tax and not put it into effect. There are many more reasons why I do not think this is a good idea. I will email to the mayor and aldermen a link tonight to an article entitled, "How Green is That Grocery Bag Ban? An assessment of the environmental and economic effects of grocery bag bans and taxes," that takes a scientific look at the issue. I hope you will all take the time to read it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have anybody else in the audience that wants to address the council? All right, moving then to item 8, which is presentation donation from the city of Batavia to the Batavia Food Pantry.
Good evening. I'm Wendy Bednarik, the HR Director here at the city. Back in December, we had the opportunity with our holiday luncheon from our employees to collect goods and services as well as monetary donations for the Interfood Pantry. And we've been doing this for many, many years. And because of COVID, actually, we had to put it off for a few years, but employees still regularly came to the HR office to donate. And then we also took a donation when we were able to finally resume activities at our luncheon, our picnic in the summer. So now we have our luncheon this past December and had an opportunity again. And I'm always very humbled at the generosity of our employees and what they're doing and what they're giving. And so we were able to collect, my understanding, I heard over 400 pounds of food and personal toiletries and necessities for the food pantry. And then also here today, we wanted to give you a monetary donation with a little bit over $700. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you. And on behalf of the pantry, I just want to say thank you. We're just so lucky to live in a town that is this generous to the food pantry and the citizens that need it. So just thank you very much on behalf of the food pantry.
Well, thank you to you and all the workers at the food pantry for all you do to keep that thing rolling so smoothly. So thank you very much. All right, moving to item number 9, the Batavia Chamber of Commerce. Margaret?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for squeezing me on the agenda tonight. I just have a small couple things I want to cover, and then I want to introduce a special guest who's going to talk about a community project that we have coming up. First of all, I wanted to let you know that we sold $16,790 in chamber bucks last year. In addition to this number, the chamber donated $5,000 out of our budget to residents to double their chamber bucks and use at local businesses. This is almost $21,000 injected into our local businesses. I want to let you know and ask you to tell your friends and family that we sell chamber bucks all year long, and it helps support our local economy. I want to welcome the businesses that joined the chamber this past month: Inspired Edge Coaching, Chicken Salad Chick, Little Goose Threads, Great Clips Batavia, Keller Williams, LC Basil Enterprise, EB5 Investors Magazine, First Centennial Mortgage, the Bukowski team. Just a couple of events that are coming up that you don't want to miss. Tomorrow night we have our evening networking that we have on the third Wednesday of every month. It is at BMO Harris on Wilson Street here from 4:30 to 6:30. It's open to everybody, so please come join us. We have a ribbon cutting to celebrate the expansion of Mill Creek Early Educational Program on Friday, January 20th at 4:30. And then January 26th at noon at Pale Joey's, we're having our out to lunch with the Batavia Chamber staff. Everybody's encouraged to come join us. So now I'm going to introduce my esteemed guest. Does anybody have any questions before I do? Good, good. You might recognize Scott Salvati from his many roles in Batavia, maybe one at this table here in the past. He is also our MC at our annual Inspire Awards dinner each year, along with other roles he plays in Batavia. Scott is helping head up our community flag project. That is an exciting new program that we're having, and Scott's going to give you all the details. So, thanks, Scott.
Thank you, Margaret. Good evening, everyone.
Welcome back.
It's good to be back. It's been a minute. So I am here on this side of the podium to talk to you about the community flag design contest that's going on. So with the Flag Day Monument project that's happening, which will literally be about 150 yards that way from this spot, an idea was put forth to create a community flag for our community. Currently, there is no flag that represents the community of Batavia, and it does not have to be a municipal function to provide that flag. That being said, an idea of having people from Batavia design a community flag was born out of that desire to connect the community and at the same time complement the Flag Day Monument Initiative by donating a portion of the sales of flags that are produced. So the concept is this. All Batavians are invited to participate in this competition. There's no age restriction and there's no fee to enter. So we're asking for design submissions to fit in a 3:5 aspect ratio, and it must be an original submission. You can find more information on our website, which is bataviaflag.org, or the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Batavia Flag. So we've done a bunch of events already, and we've done a community check-in at the library, along with a design class for adults and one for students. So the details, so the design should be no more than 3 colors. It's got to fit in that 3:5 ratio, as I said, and it must be original. And the winning design will be produced by our very own flag source here in town, and will be sold in 2 formats, a 3:5 flag and a 12.5 by 18 inch garden flag. So the 3:5 flag will sell for $50, and the garden flag will sell for $35 and includes a stake. So the Batavia Chamber, which is sponsoring this, will donate 25% of all proceeds to the Fox Valley Patriotic Organization in support of the Batavia Flag Day Monument. So all designs must be in by March 1st, and then will be unveiled on Flag Day on June 14th. So the committee that's going to be, that is organizing this and putting this together, and then will ultimately judge the submissions, include Margaret, Kathleen Tiritan, Andrea Gasca Davis, Tony Winter, Chris Winter, Martin Q. Callahan III, our own vexillologist, I'll hold for applause for him, and myself. So it's going to be fun. We've already had a lot of fun doing it. I've learned a lot about flags. Marty is a vexillologist. That is a big time 3-time Scrabble word. But it's fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. So I would hope you guys have a flyer on in front of y'all. So I would hope you all might enter something. That would be Mark. Come on, I expect to see something from the Fifth Ward. That'd be good, right? No?
Abby will cover.
Yeah. She is more creative than you are. Anyway, I hope that you all will kind of join in. Please do go to the Facebook page and like it, follow it, share it, because I think it's just a great initiative for the community, and it'll be fun to see what turns out. So, any questions?
Yeah, March 1st, 2023 is the deadline, correct?
That is the deadline, correct.
Okay, I wanted to you said it once, but I thought
Yeah.
for the benefit of anybody who's watching, so
Correct.
we missed it the first time, we said it the second time, March 1st is the date you have to have your
Yes.
entry in by.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it's on the websites again, bataviaflag.org.
Okay.
All
Very
right.
good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank you. Keep up the great work. All right, next we have Batavia Main Street.
Hi, thanks so much for having me tonight. I think I'll move this down a little bit. Well, we've been really busy at Main Street planning all of our events for this upcoming year. We're really excited for everything we're bringing up. So you'll see that in our presentation today, all the events that we're having. And then I also handed out the statistics for the second half of our the shop smell videos, the statistics. Those were the videos that were released in December and January, and I will send the spreadsheet to the alderman not here. And now we're going to give our annual review. This is Bob Hanson. He's our board president. All right. Now I don't know how to click. Okay. So this is our mission and vision. I'm not going to read through it, but basically we had a great year in 2022. We were finally able to bring back our full event schedule, so that was really exciting. And then we also were able to, we're so excited about 2023 and having our full event schedule and working out some of the kinks we might have had last year. Here's our current leadership. We are a volunteer committee, so basically these are all the people that volunteer and do a lot of the work, and we appreciate everything that they do. This is our budget, not our budget, these are our income for 2023. We are still going to get the $40,000 from the city. We have not requested an increase in this in over 15 years. Then we have $40,000 from our special service area, and then we're planning on raising about $85,000 for our programming, fundraising, and sponsorships. See anything anywhere? Here's a little snapshot of our annual report, just highlighting some of the things that we did in the last year. Some of them are highlighted later on in the slideshow, but again, we did the kiosk project that was really great. Our volunteer hours were up a little bit from last year, so we had over 1,500 hours of volunteer hours, and then we also were able to grow our Artisan Collective and Winterfest Art Market, and this year, so it's just been really a successful year for us. So in 2022, we had 13 new downtown businesses. We retained 6 businesses. These created 86 part-time jobs and 17 full-time jobs, and it filled 22,547 square footage in our downtown district. And again, just always thankful to the volunteers that we have. They really make the difference in Main Street. Without them, we could not do what we do. So anybody interested in volunteering, always reach out. We're always looking. This is the downtown kiosk project again. That has been really well received. We've been very happy with that. Dinner table came back. That was our last event to come back after COVID, and it raised $10,500 for the food pantry. So we were very happy with the success of that despite the rain. And then this year, our boardwalk shops have exceeded $1 million in sales. So with all of our end of the year numbers, it's just over $1.1 million. So we're very happy with the success of that. We did have 2 boardwalk shops sign brick and mortar leases for this year. So we consider it another really successful season, and the applications will be open throughout the end of this month. And here's our events for this year. It's going to be another great season for Batavia Main Street. And do you have any questions?
Well, when you're the mayor, you get to hear things before other people do, and I've had the opportunity, I've been visited now by 2 businesses that are, I guess I can say they're not in Batavia at the moment, but they want to get here, a restaurant and a candle business. And I believe they're working with your organization and trying to finalize issues surrounding them. And appreciate the good efforts because, we got people knocking on the door here wanting to come into downtown Batavia. And it's very, very nice that we do. As I've mentioned to the council several times this past year, I've now had, I think, 5 or 6 other mayors from the region want to come to Batavia and look around and see what we're doing and try to borrow some ideas from us as to what's made Batavia kind of an attractive place to come. And certainly I feel like the city council that you have here is very interested in seeing this continue. So I think you got our support as far as continuing to grow the organization and be innovative on new ideas. So thanks for everything you're doing. Don't have a lot of complaints. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that, and thank you for the support.
Yeah, especially thank you for the support the city provides for the boardwalk shops in the form of electric and upkeep and maintenance on the yard, and the volunteers. Tony, we're knocked out a lot of hours over there building those things, so it's been a lot of fun. We just wrapped up a meeting a couple hours ago, starting off this year. We've already got a bunch of applicants. We're going to be choosing the applicants first part of February and look forward to another successful year. And it's because of help like this that really program outstanding. And copied now throughout the state. There are several other communities doing the exact same thing now and really working out really well. So we got.
Are you seeing more applicants? Are you seeing more applicants this year than last, or
Not yet,
similar?
but the last week. Last week of January they start coming in.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll be full again.
Oh, I'm sure.
We'll be full.
And when do you guys announce who's going to be the new shops?
February 13th is our jury meeting, vetting all the applicants, and we'll probably announce.
It might be a little bit after that because we have to put the offer out there and make sure that they accept.
Right. They need to
So,
reply.
we'll have a good idea on the 13th, but depending on what kind of feedback we get, it might be a little bit after that, but, late January, late February.
I just want to offer something that Alderman Malay just brought up about the boardwalk shops. And a couple of the mayors that I had in here walking around, 2 made the comment about what a well-constructed place the boardwalk shop was. And they wanted to know what contractor did you contract to come in here and do this? I said, community volunteers who had a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And it was done by, some folks that had some of that in their background and probably build it better than many others would have done it. So I commend Alderman Malay and all those who worked with you because you really have made something that appears it's going to last a long time, and it really has put a new face on downtown Batavia. So thank you.
There was a lot of hands on that.
Yep.
All those doors you were worried about are still perfect. So all perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move to 11 now, which is Resolution 23-009-R, authorizing a referendum question to have the city clerk position changed from an elected to appointed position, and that would be on the the April 2023 ballot. And Laura, did you want to say something about this, or?
I'm happy to answer any questions that anybody might have about it, but in our discussion at the committee of the whole meeting, the justification for this is that we have not had a candidate in the last election for the treasurer position, and that most of that role is already being performed by the finance director. In contrast, we have had 2 wonderful candidates for our clerk position. The last 2 candidates have indicated that it is quite an enormous role, really, that is difficult to fulfill when somebody has other employment, and given the salary being so low for the clerk position, that it would be difficult for somebody to subsist on that in terms of performing all of the work and the hours that are necessary. Having these be appointed positions also allows us to set the criteria for which there are qualifications for these positions. It allows us also to hold those in the positions accountable. and manage the performance of the work that is performed. And so we think it is in the best interest of the city to have these be appointed versus elected positions. And passing this resolution is the last step necessary to putting the questions on the ballot.
Anybody have any questions on it? I'll just make the statement, I hope the incumbents apply.
Yes, I know. They really have done a
After we have
great
the
job.
election and take away the voting part, I hope some of the people who are serving are willing to.
Absolutely. This
And then let
is
me
no
get-
reflection on those individuals who have held these positions.
Right. I'm just, are we able to then adjust the salary after these are no longer elected? Because I know
That's correct.
under Illinois law, you can't raise the salary
Of an elected
of an
official.
elected official.
Right. No, for appointed positions, you can, and it just depends upon how these responsibilities are distributed among existing and/or new individuals that would be hired to fulfill these obligations.
So I think everybody on the council understands here what we're trying to do to kind of, I don't use the word clean this up, to get it so that it's more accurate and manageable and pays what it's really worth and puts it into a situation. I mean, quite honestly, specifically, the city clerk position is quite valuable to us.
Extremely.
And, when it comes time for election petitions and, certification on referendums and all this other stuff, it's a pretty vital role.
Absolutely.
And we need to have somebody that knows what they're doing with that. Let me just offer that up. Anybody have any questions or comments about it? But under the agenda, I had to call these separately, so you're up here for 11, which is the city clerk. So I assume we need a motion on that one and a vote. And then immediately following that, we'll ask for a question on 12, which is for the city treasurer.
Yes, please.
Somebody care to make a motion for us to put this on the ballot for the city clerk?
Move to approve resolution 23009R authorizing referendum question to have city clerk position changed from elected to an appointed position.
Second.
Okay, moved by Alderman Sofa, second by Alderman Malay for approval of Resolution 23-009-R. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Solfa?
Aye.
Barron?
Aye.
Lehman?
Aye.
Ayazi?
Aye.
Malay?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron? Saron? Vogelsinger?
Aye.
Miller?
Cerrone is an aye. Lost my mute button.
Thank you, sir. Miller?
Aye.
Rosato?
Aye.
Beck?
Aye.
Connolly?
Aye.
Chansett?
Aye.
13 yes, no, 1 absent.
Motion's approved. Okay, moving then to item 12, which is Resolution 23-010-R, authorizing a referendum question to have the city treasurer position changed from an elected to an appointed position on the April 2023 ballot. Somebody care to make that a motion?
Move to approve resolution 2301R authorizing referendum question to have city treasurer position changed from elected.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Alderman Sofa, second by Alderman Malay for the approval of Resolution 23-010-R, authorizing referendum question for the position of city clerk or city treasurer. Any further discussion? Clerk, call the roll.
Solfa?
Aye.
Barron?
Aye.
Lehman?
Aye.
Ayazi?
Aye.
Malay?
Aye.
Ewer?
Aye.
Saron?
Aye.
Vogelsinger?
Aye.
Miller?
Aye.
Rosato?
Aye.
Beck?
Aye.
Connolly?
Aye.
Chansett?
Aye.
13 yes, no, 1 absent.
Motion's approved. Okay, moving to 13, the administrator's report. Laura?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just have a very few things today, but a couple of really important things. Number one is we have sent out cards to 3,000 households, which is the community survey. And this would be the randomly selected households that will be the validated responses to the survey. But we also want anyone who wants to complete the survey to complete the survey. Those validated responses are important because whoever responds from that 3,000 randomly selected their responses will be used to benchmark with other similar communities for us to be able to gauge our responses versus other communities of similar size and income levels and all of those things. But we utilize information that we collect from all of the survey responses in order to inform us as we create the next iteration of our strategic plan for the city. Not only are there, the responses within the survey, there's also an open-ended question at the end of the document asking for your opinion on how we can improve our community. And we collect all of those responses together, and both the staff and city council review that information as they go into the sessions to determine what are going to be the elements of our next strategic plan. And working that strategic plan is guiding what the future of this community is going to look like. So it's a very, very important thing, and we would greatly appreciate the community's input on that. The other is Housing Levine, the consultants who are assisting with the development of our downtown plan. They have a session planned that is a visioning workshop. It will be on Wednesday, January 25th at 6 o'clock p.m. at the Batavia Public Library. And the purpose of the workshop is to gain insight into concerns that need to be addressed within the downtown plan. So again, if you are a member of the public with an interest in providing input into that process, highly recommend that you attend that event. Big project, the final plat for the logistics center that is being planned to be built at the corner of Perk and Fabian will be on the Plan Commission agenda tomorrow night. And if approved, then the development agreement that includes the establishment of an SSA to cover the costs of future signalization at the entrances serving this property will be on the Committee of the Whole agenda on January 24th. And that's all I have, unless anybody has any questions for me.
Any questions of Laura tonight?
Thank you.
Thank you. We have other Alderman Malay?
Yeah, I would like to have a larger discussion on the whole idea of outsourcing the ambulance service. So I would ask one of my fellow alderpersons to join me in requesting that we add that to a future agenda of a committee of the whole meeting.
I'll join, Tony. This is Alderman Lehman.
Thank you, Leah.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Moving to the mayor's report, I just got a couple things I'd like to share. I thought it was interesting, the matters from the public report that our one person left in the audience brought up tonight about where we're going with this bag thing. Because I've had some opportunities in the last couple of weeks to meet with a lot of different senior citizen groups in Batavia, and we've got, our number here is pretty impressive. Right now, we have 6 senior living communities in business in Batavia. And in addition to that, we have at least one other one that's talked to me that's kind of kicking the tire here, trying to find a spot to build another one that would be, I believe they're saying 77 units. And beyond that, a lot of people have forgotten that a number of years ago, and I guess we're still kind of obligated with it, we annexed, I believe it was 493 acres of the Mooseheart property from Main Street, right across the street from Batavia High School, to Randall Road, and then all the way south on Randall to Mooseheart Road. And the idea that was approved there was a senior living community in the truest sense of the word, that Mooseheart could build a campus down there that would resemble a similar facility that they have in Florida called Moose Haven. And the Batavia permission down there allows for, I believe it's 830 age-restricted living units. You got to be over 55 and have no children in school to be able to move in there. And then there's also a second component to that where I believe we agreed that they could, on the northwest corner of Mooseheart and Randall Road, they could build a upscale, I guess was the word they used, apartment complex where they would have like 256 townhouses or condos. It would be very similar to the number we got out on Kirk Road there at Batavia Commons at Wind Energy. So it'd be about the same size of development. But if you start adding all those numbers up, in the case of Batavia, you know, I've asked for a population number with the 6 we got, how many that is, and it's pretty hard to give us the number because, as they say, it changes every day. People move in, people pass away, people go to another one, all this other stuff. The best guess that the staff could give me is that we got someplace between 1,400 and 1,600 people in our town in that category. And of course, the big hanger on there is the homestead because they've got 40 acres up there and they've got a lot of different, you know, statuses of people. So, you know, you ask yourself, well, what impact does this had on Batavia? I say this because this past weekend, or not last week, I participated in the ribbon cutting at the Chicken Salad Chick restaurant. And I went out there, we were supposed to do it at noon, and I get there, and there was well over 100 people standing at the door, waiting to go in and get their chicken salad. And there was some incentives that if you were one of the early ones, they gave you a ticket to come back and visit them and get some free stuff and whatever. But you know, in my just looking around and trying to count it, I was pretty sure there was over 125 people there, and the vast majority of them were probably over 60 years of age. And so then I have had a couple of opportunities to talk to Chief Hansen about the operation of the fire department ambulances and everything else, and we are experiencing quite an increase in flow there in the fire department ambulance business. And I think a lot of that has to be credited to the senior citizen number that we have in the Batavia community. So this really kind of hit home to me when we got presented a plaque from the Kane County Board a few weeks back in which they congratulated us and thanked us for allowing the old Sam's Club to be turned into a Kane County vaccination location, in which they vaccinated out there over 114,500 people. And they say it's the second biggest number in the Chicagoland area of a spot that did shots or vaccinations. So I dug a little bit into it, and I find out that one of the secrets of success in that operation is that Pace Bus has this Ride-in Kane program in which they've now brought into Kane County a smaller sized bus. It's not the big one you see running up and down Route 31. These are smaller buses, and they can, depend on the size of the bus, they can transport between, I think it's 16 and 32 people on these buses. And so the Linda Metzger, who's the executive director of Pace Bus, tells me that they got such interesting ask orders for people from specifically nursing homes and retirement communities. Could we send a ride and cane bus over and bring the folks to Batavia, let them all line up and get their shot? And then they were concerned about getting the shot and then getting in their car and driving back, and some of them would maybe have a medical reaction, so they liked the idea of being able to ride in this bus and go back to where they came from. And Pace's activity there was significant. I mean, it was in the thousands of people that they moved in and out of Batavia from other locations in Kane County and within the city of Batavia. So I guess what I'm doing here is I'm kind of stressing to you that this senior living community thing is a much bigger thing than what I ever remember ever being in the case till now. And just looking at the records on the Batavia Fire Department, the number of calls that we are getting, and a lot of them aren't really that serious. Somebody's fallen and they can't get up, or they've gotten dizzy or whatever have you. So when all else fails, you dial 911 and ask for the ambulance to come. And so we've just got some significant business going here involving senior citizens. And so in talking to the folks at the Batavia Police Department, I don't want to forget them, the detectives over there are telling me that one of the issues we have is that a lot of these folks that are in the senior living arena don't have a lot of experience in technology. And they're very easily tricked into giving up things, and somebody will call them, and I was told we had some guy get called and say, hey, mister, I'm from the IRS, and you haven't paid your full income tax, but we're going to do you a favor. Just give me your credit card number, and we'll subtract that amount from your credit card, and then you'll be all safe, and you won't have any problems with the IRS. What was a scam? I mean, was somebody trying to steal their number? So I'll be quite open and frank with you. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had the same thing happen to me. And they somehow or another had gotten I have a credit card that is it just subtracts from my checking account anytime somebody gets the number to use it. And I'm not sure who gave it to them, but they came in and they hit me for $197. And so before I could get to the police department, which I got my own key, so it wouldn't have been hard, I get a call from the bank, and the bank says, did you just buy $197 worth of stuff from somebody in Los Angeles that we can't find out who this is? And I said, no, I did not. And they said, okay, we're canceling this right now, and would you come back down to the bank and we'll give you a new credit card? And so we did, and the Fifth Third Bank over here had me a new card in about 15 minutes. So, I think that there is a recognition within the business community that they are here to, specifically work with the senior citizen. And I can't say enough for both the Batavia Police and Fire Departments for their activities in working with the senior citizens, because it's a whole new constituency. Well, I mean, there's always been senior citizens in Batavia, but never to the dimensions and the numbers that we now have. And I mean, our response records are showing that, and the police department's handling a lot of stuff with the senior citizens are being taken advantage of and all this other stuff. So I just wanted to publicly say something positive about our city staffs, that we're working very hard to keep this whole thing under control and protect the people that are falling under our jurisdiction. Switching subjects, I have been to a couple of senior citizen meetings, and I'm looking at my calendar. I've got about 3 or 4 in the next, between now and the end of February. I think I've been asked to speak to every senior group in Batavia, and now they want me to come out to Elburn there to the one on Kessinger Road and speak at the Greenfields. They want me to come out and share some wisdom with them, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I got all these worked up, and so I just went to one, and I thought Sylvia's comments tonight were quite appropriate, because when I walked in there, I had several of the folks say to me, do you realize how important a plastic bag is to me? And I said, well, what's your issue? And they said, we have dogs, and when we walk the dog does its thing wherever the dog feels like doing it. And if you're a responsible citizen, you got some ability to pick up the dog's discharge, and plastic bags are the very best thing you can throw them into, and throw them in the garbage and get rid of them. So we don't like anything that's going to deal with our ability to get plastic bags. So I just thought, well, that's a new side to the story here, and I just thought I'd share it with you, because I think there's going to be a lot of people. I've also had some people in the business community ask me, how do we go about really enforcing anything, as far as, do we think we're going to write somebody a ticket because they let somebody take a plastic bag out of their store? I mean, I've had the experience in dealing with the Kane County courts now for many years, and they're nice people up there, but I have been asked a couple times to come back to the judge's chamber, where I'm told that certain things like this, they got important things they have to deal with, and they're not in the mindset to want to sit there and write tickets or find judgment against somebody who's playing loud music or having somebody not pick up the trash in their driveway or whatever have you. There's new ways of doing it. That's where we got the adjudication situation that we now have in Batavia along with Geneva. We do twice a month we have a adjudication meeting here, and an attorney is hired to come in, and our building and enforcement departments come in and say, well, this one got called because they did this, whatever it was, to the neighbor or whatever. And so the court says they don't have time for this stuff, and if you want to do it, then let the adjudication folks handle it, and they do a nice job with it. So I just thought I'd offer you some interesting insights as to some of the stuff that's happening, because that's what's happening in Batavia, and this senior living community thing is really a real deal, and is something that it's not going to go away, and I would suggest that we're going to have more of them here than fewer in the days ahead. So that's my 2 cents for the night. So I guess now we're going to go to 16, which is an executive session for discussion of collective bargaining issues. So does somebody care to make a motion for that?
So moved.
Second,
Who was the,
Lehman.
Rena Lehman and Alderman Sofa? So we have a motion and second for executive session. Clerk, call the roll.
Lehman? Oh, sorry, Solfa.
Aye.
Barron.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Ayazi.
Aye.
Malay.
Aye.
Ewer.
Aye.
Saron.
Aye.
Vogelsinger.
Aye.
Miller.
Aye.
Rosado.
Aye.
Beck.
Aye.
Connolly.
Aye.
Janzet.
Aye.
13 yes, no, 1 absent.
Motion's approved, and we'll go into executive session. I'll give everybody a couple minutes to